this is an exam technique video looking at the topic B5, looking at evaluating and comparing different methods of contraception. So it's kind of really a comprehension activity. We don't need to know a lot about the different methods of contraception for a question like this, and we quite often see this as 4 and 6 mark questions in biology. So we've got some information there: combined pill, male condom and sterilisation. We can see the effectiveness, and then we're given other information. Now it's quite good sometimes, if you've got time, to go through that other information and think to yourself, maybe put some indicators on there with colours or just plus and minus signs, or A's and D's for advantage and disadvantage, to decide, is it an advantage or a disadvantage? The question says, a man and a woman plan to start a family in 5 years' time. Compare the risks and benefits for this couple in the 3 methods of contraception. Now, when we see the word compare, or more importantly, the word evaluate, it means that we need to be looking at advantages and disadvantages. We can see here this is worth 4 marks, but I think we could quite easily get 6 marks for a question like this. Okay, let's have a look at what the exam board are looking for. So notice again, as I've said before in other exam technique questions, we have got subheadings and we've got a clear use of A and D as advantage and disadvantage. If it was me, I would actually use the words advantage and disadvantage rather than just A and D, just to make it really clear to the examiner that you know what you're talking about. So we've taken each of the methods of contraception in turn and written a clear advantage and a clear disadvantage from the information that we had in the table. Okay, and it's really important to do this because sometimes it's okay to use words like this can happen, however this is the case for something else. It's quite a nice comparison, but making it really abundantly clear by using advantage and disadvantage so that you know that it's an advantage that it's the combined pill is free. Okay, so that you know that there are no side effects and it's inexpensive to use a condom. Okay, so you've got to be really clear about which are advantages and which are disadvantages. But this is what the mark scheme is looking like. So they're encouraging the use of subheadings. So we've taken, it was technically a 4 mark question, but as you can see, could quite easily be a 6 mark question. And they've split it down into manageable sections, basically 3 2 mark questions. So, combined pill, they've said an advantage, it's free on the NHS, it's effective. Let's go back to our information, okay? We can see that there's 99.5% effective. Now, the couple have said that they would like to have a family in 5 years' time, so we've got to bear that in mind when discussing the different options. Also, nowadays the questions seem to have this idea of provide a conclusion. Now, a conclusion it doesn't have to be a particular, your opinion doesn't have to be particularly right necessarily. It's just showing you have an opinion and that you can back it up with evidence. So you could justifiably say combined pill or male condom because they're not permanent solutions. Whereas sterilisation, if they're looking for a family in 5 years' time, you wouldn't suggest that sterilisation was a good idea because it cannot usually be reversed. Let's go back to that mark scheme then. So we've said an advantage of the pill is it's free on the NHS and easy to take. A disadvantage, there are side effects and you must remember to take it every day. So let's go back to the table. We can see there's headaches and it's got to be taken every day. They are quite keen that you don't just copy the sentences out as they're written. So try and paraphrase a bit, turn it into your own sentences and highlight which are advantages and disadvantages. Next, we've gone on to the condom. Okay, the advantage there is you only have to use it when you plan to have sex. There are no side effects and it's inexpensive, but it's not as reliable. And if we go back to that table, we can see it's only 98% reliable. So you could actually quote that in your answer. It's the least reliable of all of them. Then we go to sterilisation. It is 100% effective, as we've taken from the table. Let's go back to it again. But probably if they're wanting to have a family in 5 years' time, it's not the best option for them, okay? There's risk with any surgery. We've talked about that before when we've looked at transplants and kidneys and things like that. And if we look back to that table, it cannot usually be reversed. So that's a key point as well. Hope you found that useful. Thank you.